for our part. And also, as Gala mentioned, I will present you the topic of community value systems and exploring spiral dynamics. I prepared for you for this 1.5 hour that is dedicated to me from 3 presentations. Yes, as Gara mentioned, some of them are a bit more theoretical, but I also included few case studies for you in order to practice and understand some of the key concepts and characteristics of this important topic. I will try to share my screen now and open my first presentation. That is an introductory. So just please give me a kind of a sign that you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, it's visible. Thank you. Thank you, Theodora. Okay, so again, without further ado, this is the topic that I want to present you. Galia is already mentioned about this project, Young Community Organizers, part of Key Action 2. It was applied by Young Effect as an organization and our partners as well, with partnership with Bulgarian Youth Forum, Tuzla Municipality, Youth Vision from Romania, Globers from Spain. All of those organizations are doing great job in the so far 1.5 years of the project already. And this webinar, as you know, is dedicated to the spiral dynamics and in general how the values, the community values systems should be implemented in different organizations and NGOs. Yes, this is the Young Effect page. I put here some information for the project where you can access it. Okay, community value systems and their impact on our societies. What can we say about this as an introductory part? And why should we talk about this topic? By the way, I wanted to mention also to feel free if you want to ask something or clear something during my speech, to be brave and stop me or write in the chat. I will try to be prepared for your questions. And Gale, also please help me in this if I don't see any questions, to interrupt me anytime.
Of course.
Okay, thank you. So community value systems. What we how we can define this concept and why they are important. We can refer to them as a shared beliefs, norms, or principles that can guide our behavior, interactions, and decisions, not only as individuals, but also with a particular community or society. And as you know, these values and the system of those values are shaped by different factors, such as cultural factors, religious factors, of course, historical and social factors, because they play crucial and significant role in our society. So we can give some examples of community value systems that they can include honesty, respect, cooperation, of course, family and traditions, justice. I believe that you all agree that all of those values should be part of each community that we are belonging to. There are many ways that those values can influence the societies that we live in. And I will give you some ways how this is happening. For example, the social cohesion. This is the first aspect. The shared values promote sense of belonging and identity among members, leading and they are leading to stronger social cohesion. I believe some of you already discussed yesterday, or you are familiar with the first manual that was prepared by Lorenzo and Daniela about the community organizing principles. And in this manual also it was mentioned about this social cohesion perspective. So if you haven't already, I can suggest you, if you haven't already checked this manual, I recommend you to do so, because it is really powerful and interesting, comprehensive book that was translated to the languages of all partners of the project. Another way that these value systems can influence our societies is through the social order and stability. What we can say about this aspect: the value systems provide framework for acceptable behavior, with establishing some rules and norms that govern interactions within the community. It also helps to maintain social order and stability through reducing conflicts and promoting harmony. Of course, this is not an easy task, but it is also part of the impact to our societies. The value systems also can include moral and ethical guidelines, which can govern individual choices and actions. They shape the perception of right and wrong, influencing both personal decisions and also collective decisions of the society. For example, here I can mention something interesting, the so-called 10-80-10 rule, that is concept about the behavior of people in a society. It is believed that 10% of the population of any community is strictly obeying the law all the time. At the same time, 10% will do the totally opposite. They will always complain about the rules and the different norms, let's say, and they will try to confront all the time. And the 80%, the rest of the society or this community, will look like what the others are doing. So we should, of course, try to, as a youth leaders and youth volunteers, to try to behave in the way that it is making our society more progressive and inclusive, let's say. Another influence that we can mention is related to the cultural preservation, because the community systems, community value systems, as they often reflect our historical and cultural heritage, we can say that this is a way how we can preserve our traditions and customs, different rituals, of course, from one generation to another. In one of my presentation, I will show you some interesting customs and traditions that might be a bit strange to us as a society, but they are part of the cultural preservation, and it means that the value for those societies is quite important regarding these traditions. Of course, another way to influence the society through these values is related to decision making and governance. In societies where community values are strong, they can influence the decision-making process and even impact the structure of governance. Political leaders and institutions may align their policies with the prevalent community values to maintain public support. For example, I can give you I can tell you that I just came back from Switzerland very early this morning, and this society has quite different, let's say, perspective from many other cultures. It is important, for example, for them to pay higher taxes and have, let's say, better infrastructure, or to have more more sustainable, and to build more sustainable environment. And this is how the society, the Swiss society, can influence decision making and government and governance. It can be strange for, let's say, societies from more eastern parts of the Europe, but in this case, in Switzerland, it's part of their value. It means that it is important for them. The social progress and change. Of course, we cannot say that we live in an isolated world that is prevailing with one typical culture. Although we are, of course, influenced by many different cultures around us, this leads to change of the society and the community, and this progress is, of course, for some good, for others maybe not so good, but we have to be prepared for the new ideas, for the new technologies that are part of the world nowadays. And this, of course, can influence to the societies. Of course, we can talk about inclusion and exclusion. This is a very important aspect of today's societies. we can say that there are societies that are more inclusive than others. And this is, again, part of these community value systems that can lead to, let's say, ignoring the needs of certain individuals or groups. And of course, these societies are much more exclusive than inclusive. Of course, we can have both positive and negative consequences depending on the context and depending on the shared values that each society has. The conflict and cooperation aspect, when we talk about shared values among society, is related to the way how people are, let's say, how people are interacting, and also how they perceive some changes in the society. Of course, there can be tensions and conflicts when different values are colliding, and we have to find a common ground for the shared values in order to foster cooperation and understanding in these situations. Of course, it's not always easy, but this is another important aspect of those shared values. It is important to mention that the impact of community value systems can vary significantly from one society to another. Something that is important for a person who is from Romania can differ for a person who is from Turkey, or Italian and Bulgarian members of the society. But the value systems are leading to better stability and social coherence, and can make the societies more adaptive in order to experience social change and innovations in the future. How we can understand the value systems and build more harmonizing communities? It is important for today's society to promote tolerance and respect in all different members of the society, and this is how those shared values in a community can create better ground for further developing of these two important values. Of course, the effective communication can be also key aspect for the shared value systems in order to create an environment for transmission of messages between the different members of the groups. It's important for the society to create ground for freely expressing of ideas, and this can prevent conflicts, and of course avoid some misunderstandings or misinterpretations in different cases. The conflict resolution is very important aspect also, because we can have societies that are multicultural, and conflict resolution strategies are key in preventing further conflicts in the groups. And this is related to the beliefs of the different members of the societies, and of course how important the values are for each member of the societies. Cultural exchange and integration. This is another aspect that it is promoted through the shared values. In diverse communities, understanding the value systems can promote a cultural exchange, and it allows the integration of customs, traditions, and different practices from various backgrounds. Again, I can give you an example from Switzerland. Last 2 days ago, it was the national holiday of the Confederation Helvetica, and it was very interesting for my perspective, very interesting traditions that were celebrated among the different ethnicities who are living in Switzerland, German speaking, French speaking, Italian speaking, and also Romansh speaking societies. This is important aspect. Community bonding, when we have individuals who understand each other and share their values openly, they create a sense of belonging, and they can bond within the community. And the sense of unity can, of course, strengthen the social ties and create supportive environment for progress. This is important aspect, again, when we talk about leadership, and both individual leadership for young people, and also for the community in general. It is important to have these connections between the different members in order to have progress. And we are going to see this in the spiral dynamics theory in a few minutes, that creation of these ties are very important. A deeper understanding of value systems can help to identify and address different barriers that can arise within certain societies. And in order to enhance this social cohesion, we need to build inclusive communities that can respect the diversity that exists in the society. And in this globalized world, I believe that all people who are part of the webinar live in societies that are changing, somehow, both ethnically, religiously, and culturally. Collaboration and collective goals. When members of the society understand each other's values, they can align their efforts toward some common goals. This is an important aspect because only by collaboration, both individuals, communities, and big societies can change and evolve in better societies. For example, here we can mention Bulgaria and Romania, who are part of this project together. They have a common goal to enter in the Schengen zone, and they can collaborate together in order to be part of this zone, because it is important value for a big part of the society, I believe, in both countries. Okay, the social progress. In order to understand the systems, understanding value systems is also essential for the social progress and change. And we can say that through acknowledging the need to evolve and adapt, all communities can address outdated practices and embrace new ideas that benefit everyone, and create a society that is more inclusive. The resilience is also part of these aspects of shared values. They create solidarity, they motivate individuals to support each other, and these values can help individuals to pass through difficult periods of their life, and this is also an important aspect as well. Last but not least, we can say that those shared values can create societies that prevent stereotyping and prejudices in a community, because misunderstanding or misjudging others' value systems can lead to stereotypes and prejudices. It is important for the globalized society to learn about the different value systems and raise awareness about the need for more inclusive communities, because this is, let's say, the new how to say, the new life of most of the European nations. Okay, the importance of core values. There are few things that we can say here about the core values that are part of our societies. We can say that those are the values that a person or organization or a community can be based on. They are important and lasting beliefs or ideals that are shared among the members, and of course they differ from the community to another. The values determine our priorities. When we value something, we consider it important, and of course we try to develop and create a result from this value. And those values can influence our behavior and attitudes for our personal development, and also for our, let's say, a group. As we are part of a group, we can be part of an NGO, part of school or university clubs. We can be part of sports teams or something that is can be a group community. And I want you to invite you to share with me and with the other with other participants of the webinar for some core values that you think that individuals and organizations have to follow. You can use both the chat or you can say it on the microphone. Some values that you think that are important.
I will suggest something. I think respect and empathy, it's both
Great.
very, very important for individuals and organizations to follow when they interact with young people, with people with fewer opportunities, and in daily activities and daily life.
Thank you very much, Daniela. I totally agree with that. Somebody else wants to share? I have prepared some that I put in this slide. We can talk a lot about all of them. Daniela mentioned inclusion of people with fewer opportunities, for example, engagement, collaboration, passion, awareness. Those are all values that are extremely important in today's society, as we need to adapt with the new situations around us, and of course to be flexible in order to create positive results from different actions. There is one very, very interesting game that I can suggest to you. Unfortunately, we cannot play it virtually. It is called the value of values. I don't know if somebody of you have played it before, but you can check in the internet about this game and what are the objectives and goals of this game. But it is really important when you work in a multicultural environment, and when you have some when you have diverse group of people, you have a set of cards that are written with different values that you have to narrow down and filter values that are important to you as individuals, and then it is used. Those values are used in a teamwork that can be united. Those values can be united in order to achieve a goal within a community. So this is interesting non-formal education tool that I really suggest you to try when you have time, or when you have this interesting group of diverse people, because it shares how, and it shows how different societies can have different values, and can tell you more about you as a group leader, or as a person who wants to be part of a community, what role you can have in this community. Okay, a few more slides, and I will finish with my first presentation. The core values and their significance. They, of course, as I mentioned, they are rule beliefs that each community should operate from. They inform us about what is desirable, and they determine our priorities. We, as a part of organizations, all have, I believe, all of the organization have their priorities, their target groups, their missions that can lead, and that they shall lead them, the organizations, to the desired destination or to the desired results. As NGOs with some social functions, let's say, and altogether they provide a roadmap that leads to desired destination. I believe that the core values of each organization should support its members of the organizations, and I will also try to ask you now and share, if you want to share with me, if you have, as a part of organization, your own roadmap that gives you, let's say, step by step, the desired direction of your organization, and how, what kind of values do you use in order to create this roadmap, if you have?
Well, it's Tiziano. I can say that, for example, last year, for the ones that are familiar with Erasmus Plus, with the Young FA, we were writing something called accreditation for Accreditation 1. And the accreditation is the opportunity that is given to the organizations to give sustainability to the action of the organization through European grants. So, like in the past, we were applying every 3 months in order to receive the grant and the project if was approved or not. Now with the accreditation, we know that every year we have a standard number of projects. That means also standard number of grant, of money, or resources. In order to have this, we had to make an internal discussion with the organization and write down which road we are going to follow in the next 5 years. That includes also like development of the organization, number of the staff, and so on. So we did this, and one of the main aspects that was important in order to receive the accreditation that we got was the capacity of delegate the job of each member to someone else in order to grow, because one of the main and big problems in the organization is that maybe the founders or the presidents have the great experience on several areas, and it's difficult to give this responsibility to someone else. And this is obvious because when you don't have money, you need to count on the volunteerism. But the volunteers are volunteers. You cannot pretend that they stay forever with the organization. So when you are accredited, you have a certain amount of money that you can dedicate to have professional staff. And when you have professional staff, you can train them, you can make them follow this road that you show in an appropriate way with, let's say, less and less probability that these people are going away, because you are giving a salary to them. So it's a job, not voluntarism anymore. So yes, we did this road last year for this reason, and I would say that the main value that was awarded by the national agency was the capacity of delegate the job to the other people.
Okay, thank you very much, Tiziano, for sharing this. It's very important for you to do this accreditation. I'm sure how difficult this process was, but it is somehow in your own organization. It is it's a value. And I'm sure that you organized your members and the volunteers for this, let's say, quite difficult task that you already, I think, successfully managed to accomplish. Okay, so I will ask you if you have any thing that you want to share or add before continuing with the spiral dynamics and let's say the more psychological aspect of my presentation. Okay, I don't see any questions, both in the chat and also in verbally. So I will continue about talking about the spiral dynamics. Very interesting topic. I want to confess to you that I'm not a psychologist or not a specialist in cognitive behavior, but I try to, let's say, from the perspective of youth worker to get information as much as possible about this topic in order to share with you what are the key elements of this interesting concept. And I want to try with an association and ask you about a word that comes to your mind when you hear the word coffee. What are your associations? Because it is somehow related to the perceptions that we have and the spiral dynamics. So you can share freely anything that comes to your mind when you hear the word coffee.
Well, for me, it feels like a time to pause and relax. It's time to just like take it to yourself, or maybe with the others, but it's a time to stop and enjoy a coffee.
Very nice. Thank you, Nazareth. Someone else?
For me, it's not my cup of tea.
For you, sorry, Teodora?
For me, it's not my cup of tea. I mean, it's not something that I enjoy.
Okay, so you don't make any association positive or negative, just neutral.
Maybe I associate it with my mom because my mom drinks a lot of coffee.
Okay, great. So you have a object or a personality actually that
Yeah.
you think about. Great. Someone else?
Yeah, the same like Teodora. I associate a lot, especially, you know, this mocha coffee with my grandparents and like family tradition and even brand of coffee that don't exist anymore. But I remember very well because they were part of my childhood. I started to drink coffee when I was basically a kid.
Great. Tiziano, I believe that it is inherited in the Italian culture to drink coffee. Of course, you have the best espresso in the world, without any doubt. I'm sure. Also, for me as a Bulgarian, I associate coffee with Turkey as a country. The Turkish coffee, which is a bit different than the Italian espresso, but for me personally, the aroma comes to my mind of the coffee. Of course, waking up every morning with a coffee is another association. So we can continue and saying different sociological perspectives of the word coffee, but there will be, of course, some of them will be similar, others different. And I want to ask you this because when we talk about spiral dynamics, we have to mention the different perception of different things. Everybody is perceiving the world in their own unique way. We have different points of view that are shaped culturally, that are shaped by our families and by our, let's say, friends. And we can have, as a human beings, different senses of sight, sound, taste, touch, that if we have to confess, we should say that they are quite limited in terms of let's say senses that don't have the, let's say, huge capacity. And we, for example, talking about our vision, our sight, we should say that it is it has limited bandwidth that humans can see. I can show you this slide, which is showing to us the another sense, the hearing range of a human, that you can see in the center. It has limited capacity, and we can see that, for example, cats or dogs, the elephants, they have different frequencies. For example, the bats and the dolphins can hear higher frequencies comparing to humans, and this helps them to absorb information and to, for example, find any dangers that might arise for them. Or the bats, for example, can find their prey through using their inherited ultrasonic squeak and reflecting the echo from when they send it in their habitat. So we can say that the perception of people and different animals is different. We have no sight in darkness, while a fox in the garden or in the forest can walk around, and as they have they can see the infrared light, they can find also different targets, let's say, in the darkness. So we can say that we have radio waves that are all around us. They are important for our cell phones, the radio and television signals, but we don't see them. It doesn't mean that they do not exist, but we just don't know. We cannot see them. once we receive signals from our senses, it's up to us and to our brain to interpret those signals and to make sense of them. When we are born, we can say that we are like blank book without anything written on it. Everything is mystery to us, and we can learn through our experience in the next years of our life. For example, we can learn and experience what is pain or what is hunger. We can have the perceptions of soft and hard things, of warm and cold things, cool things, light or dark. These are perceptions that we can learn later through experience, and we can interpret them differently, of course, in the later ages of our lives. So as we have experiences, we can generate memories, and we can compare our present situations with memories of the last time we were in a similar situation. And this is done continually in the subconscious part of our brain. We can learn and recognize what is dangerous to us, and of course to develop survival skills through this experience that we have. This is one interesting pictures that show us that lots of things that we are doing are done subconsciously. For example, our emotions, beliefs, habits, values that we are talking about now, long-term memory, imaginations, those are things that are subconscious, and only around 10% are part of the conscious mind. For example, this is the logical thinking, the critical thinking, but most of the things, as you can see, are in the hidden part of the iceberg. So the experience that we interpret as life is colored, and all that has gone before, both in interpreting our senses and also interpreting our imaginations with the stories that we have been told by our friends, families, teachers, or community members. Okay, so those values that we have through our experience and our skills can create our personality, and can make us leaders, or can make us any other kind of personality that the spiral dynamics is let's say sharing to us and saying to us. The concept was developed by American professor. I will tell you just a little bit, just in a few minutes. But before going to this, let me ask you if you can tell me a story of your life that your senses betrayed you. Somehow they didn't help you somehow, or they confused you in your personal life, or you can share with your friend or another person. Have you ever had this confusion in your brain due to misinterpretation of your senses.
It happens every day with me with food.
Yes, okay. So
I am attracted by something and
okay.
they expect very big outcomes, and then I am not satisfied, maybe.
And then you are negatively surprised, let's say. Okay. Yes, this is possible. It's happening. Okay. Can you tell me what do you see in this image?
A woman.
I also see a woman, like
Yes,
with
a woman.
feathers or something.
Okay, what kind of woman? Can you describe it?
A,
Oh,
grand-
Young.
a grandmother from France.
Grandmother from France.
I was gonna say young.
Young.
Maybe
Looks
gold.
young to
Me
me.
too, young.
Young.
Maybe
Okay.
gold.
For Tiziano, I think is more older, old person.
Maybe French grandmas are younger.
French
I'd say
grandma.
like Anna Karenina, something vibe, like tragic woman with a lot of money.
Anna Karenina, great. Okay. So some of you are seeing old women, others are seeing young women, right?
I think she's young and she looks like a young girl that sings popular music in Romania, like in a profile, I think, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
with the
Great.
hair
Mm-hmm.
and what she's wearing.
Okay. Somebody else is seeing something different. For example, yesterday I asked a few people in the plane when I was flying, and one lady told me that she's seeing a lion that is eating a person with an open mouth. Probably it's not visible for everybody, but those were the three different images that we saw through experience and through asking the people. The old lady with her nose here, with her eye, with black hair, and also the young lady that is looking somewhere in the future, with her nose just here and the eyes, and the lion. So this is this image can illustrate a form of mental ambiguity, because we are not sure what our brain is actually saying to us. This is a very interesting concept, and we actually tend to only see what we expect to see. This is a psychological explanation, and our brain interprets the images from our senses based on our prior experience that we set. And what about here? What do you see in this image?
I see again a woman, like that is with her head down.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's not a problem in your monitor or phone. Okay, is she smiling?
Yes, but she has like a negative vibe.
Negative.
I don't know. Yes.
You see she's smiling, but
Like I said,
if you observe the eye, one eye,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit different than the other one on the right one, as you can see the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And she seemed like she's crying, but I think if she's the image is upside down, I think she's sad.
She's creepy. Like
Yeah, the eye definitely is like a little bit like this.
Mhm.
So she's not, I don't think she's smiling, because the mouth should be like, the corners should be up with the nose, not down. But seeing
Yeah.
from this, from like this, you tend to believe that she's smiling, but she's not.
Yes.
The mouth is the only thing that is not upside down. So if we do this, then she's not smiling.
Yeah, the mouth is like, she's not turned. It's like the one that you see if she's like this.
True. It's I can, if you want, I can do it. I can uh, rotate the picture,
Yeah.
and I'm
negative vibe.
yes, Gala, you mentioned the negative vibe. I promise that I didn't do any manipulation. I just rotate the picture, and yeah, Daniela also observed the right eye, that it's a bit different, and yes, it looks like a woman that is not very happy. Although maybe in the beginning we were thinking, oh, she's smiling, very positive one. But again, this is part of our brain, and how we are looking at some clusters of elements of the face of the woman, and we can make a very, very wrong sometimes first impression and first suggestion of some kind of picture, at this time with our site. So what we can say, these images are obviously examples of situation when our brain gets confused, and it has a message that it's actually different, and we need to use another sources of information in order to acquire more information that can give us the real result of the image. So sometimes the judgments that we make are not correct, and we need to continually try to find information about different topics, or about different skills that we need to continuously improve in order to let's say develop ourselves. And this is actually the concept of spiral dynamics, which tries to make people more aware with different skills and competencies, in a very let's say generally speaking, a concept that was developed by Claire Graves, a psychologist, in the 1950s, and later it was explained again and expanded and further developed by Don Beck and Christopher Cohen. This psychological and cultural model seeks to understand the development of human values, beliefs, and behavior over time. Because as we are people who are growing and who are learning by our experience every day, we should have different stages of our personal development with with different methods, let's say, of learning. So the model is based on the idea that human societies and individuals evolve through different stages of value systems, and each one is building upon the previous one. This is how it looks, like a spiral. Why spiral? Because it is representing continuous and dynamic nature of the human development. It looks like a spiral movement rather than a linear progression. And of course, we have ups and downs as different people, and we have different problems in our lives. But in general, individuals and societies can shift between different levels of this spiral dynamics model. The core idea of this concept is that each value system, often referred to as memetic code or VMeme, emerges as a response to the challenges and opportunities presented by the environment, and each level addresses the deficiencies of the previous one and provides new ways of thinking and organizing society. So basically, we are like in a ladder, and we are stepping up and up every time, and each level gives us a new way of thinking and a new set of skills that can help us in order to improve our personal development, let's say, and as a community as well. We should mention that it is a model. This model does not rank or judge the value systems as better or worse, and it doesn't say the Bulgarian value system is wrong and the Italian is better. Instead, it aims to understand the dynamics of the emergence and how they influence human behavior in a community. This is example of the meme attractor. I took it from the book, which I can also provide you if you're interested more about this topic. Each meme is an organizing principle, center of gravity, geometric fractal, self-replicated force, and you can see that you can develop different aspects through this spiral dynamics model. What are the basic stages of this spiral dynamic model? I showed you in 2 slides before. The spiral has different color, and they are like, as I told you, step by step stages. The first one, the beige, is survival focused, instinctual, and oriented towards our basic needs. Those things that we are actually learning through our experience in the early ages of our development of human beings. The second one is the purple, which is tribal and animistic. It is characterized by a strong sense of kinship and connection to nature. It is more the deterministic approach for this second stage. The red one is the egocentric, driven by power, dominance, and individual expression. And the blue one This is the first one, the fourth one. It is order seeking, rule based, and centered to traditional values and morality. The next four are getting higher, let's say, in the hierarchy of the spiral dynamics model. It changed, the color change from orange, which is achievement oriented, rational, and focused on individual success and material progress. The green one, community oriented, pluralistic, empathetic, emphasizing equality and social justice, which is the next level. From green, we continue to yellow, which is integrative, holistic thinking, seeking solutions beyond rigid systems and embracing complexity. It is quite complex, as well as the turquoise, which is the eighth level of this spiral dynamic model. It is related to global thinking with spiritual and interconnected thinking with different perspectives, promoting unity and harmony with the universe. So you can see how as leaders you can find your way in this model through the different colors and through the different stages. Here you can see from a tribal and autocratic leader to facilitative and global leader, where you have more systematic flow, when you have more holistic perceptions and points of view, and it of course requires lots of skills that can be of course obtained by different ways. Okay, so what can we conclude before giving you the one task about the continuously changing people? Each level from the model builds upon the previous one and incorporates new strengths and new skills with the time. People and societies can display characteristics of multiple levels simultaneously, but generally they lean towards one predominant level at a given time. Of course, people and societies are changing, so they can continue with their transformation through different approaches and methods. The spiral dynamics model is used to understand the cultural differences, organizational development, and the evolution of societies. And through recognizing the value systems and their motivation, underlying motivations, we as individuals or as a communities, we can better understand and communicate with each other and foster tolerance and cooperation in the diverse world. Okay, how does the spiral dynamics apply to real life situations? Can you give some examples if you have used the spiral dynamics already, or somehow can you share with me any situations, real life situations that can be applied through this model?
Elections.
Okay, elections. How we can use it in elections?
Like the civic education of the whole population is not the same. So in the end, the leadership has some voice that can have more importance, and people listen to it, but without contrasting the information. So this generates this kind of a spiral that if you are not agreeing with the main voice, is silence, for example. I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Jorge. Sounds interesting. Yes, we can use the spiral dynamics in elections when politicians can create a model of governance model that is based on the values of the society in particular time, because we know that they are changing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in Spain you just had the elections a few weeks ago, right?
Yes.
And was there any surprises in the coalition between the different parties in Spain? Or was it what kind of a party is now ruling in Spain? Is it right? Is it left? Is it green? Is it center oriented?
In Spain, we just had elections, and right now they are trying to agree with each other to create the government.
So you still don't
right now we don't.
Okay. Well,
But
okay.
so far has been like a socialist, leftish kind of.
Okay, thank you, Jorge. So you perhaps have more as a society, as a Spanish society, you have more how to say more values that are lefty oriented, and the governance can be also based on these values. Okay, besides the elections and the governance and political aspect, the spiral dynamics can help us to understand the cultural differences in the society and what kind of values they build. Also, conflict resolutions, they are it can be used, the spiral dynamics model can be used to facilitate dialogue and identify common grounds for work towards finding mutually beneficial solutions in different situations and cases. Also, the organizational development, this model can be applied to understand the culture within organization and how it impacts employee behavior and decision-making process. The organization can use the knowledge to create more inclusive and adaptive work environments if they are aware with those environments and those characteristics of the employees. Another real-life situation can be the social change and advocacy. When we are trying to advocate for social change, we understand the predominant value systems in the society, and then we can allow activists and help them in order to spread information about the new change that they are advocating. The education and training, we also mentioned this process when we can apply it to spiral dynamics. We can encourage students and educators to create, of course, curricula that is inclusive and foster critical thinking that can be adapted adapted in the formal education. Personal growth and development, it is one of the maybe most important aspect of this spiral dynamics model. The individuals use it to reflect on their own value system and how they impact the behavior and their decision making in different situations. Again, we learn through our experience, and we need to continuously maintain our personal growth in order to embrace the changes. Leadership and management, one of the most important application of the spiral dynamics model, which helps us to understand what can we do in order to build teams that are cohesive, responsible, and through adapting leadership styles to meet the needs for the different individuals. The community building initiatives also are applicable in the spiral dynamics model. It fosters collaboration and cooperation for further improvement. The cultural transformation is also can be used through the spatial dynamics model to provide the roadmap for societies to evolve from one value system to another, and to encourage the progress towards more inclusive societies and sustainable society. And of course, the global issues and cooperations for problems that are part of the, for example, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. By understanding the different value systems that are at play, let's say, it becomes easier to seek global cooperation and to work towards solutions of those. Okay. As I mentioned you before, I want to share now with you one case study that it is related to different people who are with different backgrounds, with different values, with different experiences, and I want to share it with you in the chat. Gala, please tell me if it's possible to share a PDF file with the members of this webinar.
Yes, you can just send it inside the chat, or you can open it in your screen.
Okay, maybe better to do it on the chat because it's
You just choose the file and like put it inside the chat.
it's like the drag and drop, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. I'm opening now the chat. Okay. Sent. Should be sent soon. So if I may ask you to open this case study and read the stories of the people who you can see the different models of people, what kind of community they are part of, and compare their stories with absolutely the same people, but 10 years later. And think about what changed for them, and what were the factors that influenced it to their change. So I believe maybe 5-6 minutes or maybe 10 minutes will be enough to read them all, and then I will come back again and discuss with you about this model, spiral dynamics model. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Because we are running out of time, as I checking the watch, let's finish with the exercise. And what are your impressions from these 6 people that you interviewed with your magic carpet? What kind of people were there, and what kind of people they transformed to 10 years later? Any just a brief comments, if you can mention.
All of them, they changed completely their view on life, depending on the situations that they were living in the moment. Yeah, the meaning of life for them changed according to to their issues in the moment, to their priorities, their conditions.
Yes, so we can say that some of them really was it surprising for you, Victoria, these changes?
Yes, I think like the entrepreneur and the first one, they were like the most surprising. The guy from France didn't surprise me that much, because it's usually something that happens, like from the street to a pastor is something like very common. You can see in the movies and things like that. And also surprised me the most, the one that died.
Yes, yes.
Because it's actually the only one that didn't, as it is said, that didn't change his thoughts of life, and then he ended up dead. So it surprised me a bit, yeah. And then the activist is not that weird, because okay, you want to change the world, but if you cannot change the world, you need to adapt to it. So in the end, you can fight for rights and also have a Mercedes. So yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
Someone else, just finishing words before the conclusion? No? Okay, so yeah, we can really see the completely significant change in 4 of our heroes: the street kid, the entrepreneur, the social activist, and Songoma. The ranger unfortunately died, but may he's very happy in the place where he was put to rest in peace. I uploaded the 3 books that I found very interesting. So I hope they will be interesting also for you. You can have a look on them later. I put them in the chat, and I'm really hope to use this spiral dynamics method and model in our personal development, because everybody needs to continuously increase its skills and competences, and this model is really very nice, and I'm sure that it can lead to transformation and change, and make us better leaders, and create better values for us as individuals and for our societies in general. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Carlo. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Carlo.
Yeah.
So now we will have, let's say, 10 minutes break. Yes, in my clock 11:23, let's say 11:30, 11:35. Yes, for someone it's 12:35 already, will be 11:35 Italian time. We should come back. Yeah, so you could relax a little bit to make maybe exercises for your back, a cup of coffee. Yes, whatever you prefer, or a short nap. Important that you will wake up in 12 minutes. Yes, and then we will continue with the last session with Jorge. Okay? Perfect. See you in 10, 12 minutes, 11:35. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's slowly come back. Tiziano is here. Jorge, trainer is here, so that's the most important. Victoria. Victoria and I are sharing a flat, so sometimes I can hear my voice in her room and it's a little bit awkward. No, it's okay, don't worry. Okay. So I hope that everyone who is present, yes, and ready to start. And we will finish, yes, we will have now our final session of our webinar with Spanish partner, Globers, and their trainer, who has just left the room, but I'm sure that he is here. Yes, and the trainer, Jorge. I hope that you will enjoy the session. And after this, we will make a big conclusion of 2 days. We are planning to finish no later than 1 o'clock Italian time, so you could have a proper lunch, yes, and maybe a little bit of siesta. So Jorge, the dance floor is yours. Yes, you have a right to share the screen, and welcome.
My microphone is on. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Jorge, as Galia said, and I'm a full-time trainer. Also, but like a side job because I'm an academic full-time as well. So I'm giggling life in those terms. I work together with Glovers mainly. That is a youth organization based in Tarragona, Catalonia, Spain. We are by the seaside, and it's August, quite warm, but not today. Today is cloudy, so we are okay. Yesterday was super warm and super humid. And this session will be about leadership, that the differences between linear leadership, horizontal leadership, and shared leadership. I don't know if you have a previous understanding of this. I would like to know, so I know where to start from and I don't go over things that we already know, as we have a precious time here. So have you heard about this linear, shared, and horizontal leadership structures before?
Yeah, well, personally, I heard because part of this project we write in this book, this manual, so I learned it over there. And then also, like in the one session before, Carlo talked a little bit about leadership, not specifically that one, but yeah. So I did some little research, but before that, not at all.
Okay, so you know, but you learned it recently, let's say. And what about the rest?
No, not really.
Not really? Okay, then I can start from scratch. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, just I will define like the basics of these three leadership. I don't even like to call it models, but ways of leadership. And then we will go into a small exercise that I prepared, and let's reflect a little bit what is how effective these kinds of decision-making processes could be. That could be a good name for those, maybe. So linear leadership, as the name says, so it's when there's like a command structure. It's like there's a someone who has the decision-making power and someone who has to answer after this decision has been made, but has other people to command to, and again, and it can be spread. But in the other hand, we have the horizontal, where Carlo kind of said from other models, but kind of the same idea. I mean, academics, there's many authors who are calling same things different names. So here's another one of them. So horizontal is when everybody who is participating in the activity has the same amount of power to participate in the decision-making process. So that would be the horizontal. And the shared leadership is kind of horizontal, but each group of people or each person has a specific expertise or task that they contribute from, and they come together. Could be, for example, commissions, no? Like they have different commissions and we come together and we have the decision making all together, but each one is working on their expertise. General terms. We've been talking about this leadership for 2 days now. We have different models of leadership, but from my understanding, the leadership is regardless of the decision-making process or structure that we decide, it's about communication. And especially in the intercultural environments that we normally work on, communication can be very tricky. So we are going to do this exercise. For that, you need to have a piece of paper and a pen. That's all. I give you a couple of a minute to get it. And also, if you're participating, if you can turn the camera on, so I know how many people we are doing the activity, so I can upfront how many people we are doing it, and for the next steps. Yeah, Victoria was here, had a pen and a paper, but now has no video. Adelina, are you here as well? Of the other, yes, yes. Galia went for a pen, maybe.
Pen.
It's like you teleport.
Some magic.
Pew, pew.
You're like the Friends plot.
Yes, it's like the magic carpet of color, no? That now you're here and you're there. Okay, so we take this paper, and I had a drawing that I prepared, and I will try to describe this drawing. You will be drawing it under my instructions, and let's see if we get to a similar drawing or not. Okay, it's a simple drawing. So first, we take the paper in a horizontal way. Yes. Let's think that it has like 3 similar vertical parts. On the left part, there's a equilateral triangle with the base on the bottom, drawing in the middle of this third. So there's equilateral triangle on the left third with the base by the bottom. On the peak of this triangle, there's a zigzag line with 4 zigzags on top and 4 on the bottom of this zigzag. So there's a zigzag line that touches the peak of this triangle. On the middle third of this drawing, there's a square on the bottom half. And on the right third, there's a circle on the top half. Also, finally, there's a line that crosses from the the bottom left square of the square, drawing all up until it touches the circle.
Could you repeat the last one, please?
Sure. There's a line that crosses from the bottom left corner of the square and goes up until it touches the circle. That's it. Now, if you can please show what have you drawn to the camera. So, you see in each other. Okay, this was the drawing, the original drawing. Okay. Now, I want also to give you the chance, if someone wants to try to make a simple drawing like this and describe to others, and we will do the drawing. So they can also have the chance to see how they give these explanations and this description and how others understand it. This is your chance to do it. Who wants to give it a try? Let's see if we have a common understanding. Who wants to try out their description skills?
Sorry, Jorge, we need to describe what we draw, or
Yeah, you do a simple drawing as I did, and then you describe, and we all draw it. So you test your description skills.
okay.
You want to do it? Let's try out.
Go, teaching.
No, sorry, I asked what I have to do, like I didn't do it yet.
I mean, we can wait. You can prepare like a simple drawing, and then we.
I'll do it. That I'm from
Okay,
Picasso
plan.
City.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see.
Victoria is a volunteer, as I heard.
Let's see if we are good understanders as well.
Okay, done. It's very simple.
Okay, let's try it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so in the page horizontally, again, more or less like in 3 parts of the page, but not dividing it. So in the left part of the page, you have to draw like a spiral with 5 levels, like going upside down. Okay, so
Can you
then
can you
from
repeat
the bottom,
Can
sorry?
you repeat 2 times? Like
Yes.
every time, yeah, because
Okay, okay. So on the left side of the horizontally placed page, you need to draw a spiral from upside down of 5 levels, like 5, spirals. I don't want to do it with my hand because then, yeah. Okay, so spiral. And then from the bottom of the spiral, you need to draw from the left corner to the right corner, to the right upper corner of the page, a line, like a diagonal line. From the left bottom corner of the spiral to the right upper corner of the horizontal page, draw a line. Crossing the page. Okay. You got it more or less? I continue, yes. On the middle of the line, below the line, like on the, yeah, there. On the middle, draw a circle. Below the line and in the middle of the line, draw a circle. In the middle of the circle, a dot. Okay. Then, on the, like in the end of the line, in the upper right corner, below, but above the line, a heart, a small heart. No, above, no. Above, on top of the line. Yes. And finally, on the top of the spiral, a star to the right. Like on the top of the spiral, to the right, a star, a small star. And that's it, you can sign on the corner. Can I see your drawings? Okay, okay. I'm scared to see this. Wow, perfect. Not at all. So I'll show you mine. Yes. Pretty much the same, yes. Woo. Okay, so we are all artists.
Pretty much the same. How was it for you to give the descriptions?
For me to do the description or for them to understand?
For you, you were giving the description. How was it?
It was fun. It was nice. It was okay. I was trying to be as clear as possible. The problem with the above and on top with the English, but it's okay. I managed.
Does anybody else now is challenged and want to try out their description skills? You want to try? Let's try out. This is basically what we are doing in our daily job, no? Like kind of.
Can I work with you?
So it's a good practice anyway.
Okay. Get the page in horizontal mode and draw a big circle in the middle. Divide that circle in 4 pieces. On the first piece, so which is like from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, draw inside 3 circles. On the second one, so it's from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 1 square inside. Then on the third one, from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, draw 2 arrows pointing to the square, horizontal way. And now for the last one, for the fourth one, so which is 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, draw 3 waves inside of the square, the thingy. Do you have it more or less?
Let's find out.
Want to show it to the camera? Oh, pretty good. Oh, really good.
It's a pizza.
Yeah, some sort of like a clock pizza, but yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Italian pizza. Well done.
Nafa, how did you felt giving the instructions?
Well, I think in my case it was easier because I had 2 examples before. So I prepared the sentences in a very clear way, and I had it like clear in my mind how to do the instructions so you can follow easier. To give the instructions itself, it feels quite robotic. Probably because it's not my nature to be so strict and straightforward. But well, so far so good. You did an amazing job. So well done.
And also you had like a drawing that had more structure than the previous drawings, no? So you can refer to it's already in the circle, it's already divided. So there was some structure beforehand somehow. So for the rest, how you felt it different, this circle last one regarding the previous ones? Like receiving, drawing it.
The last one regarding the previous.
Previous?
The last instructions regarding comparing with the.
How did you feel drawing, the last drawing, in comparison to the other 2?
For me, it was easier because the territory was smaller. So it was inside the same circle and like everything was divided, everything was like somehow structured, and there was not much space, let's say, for mistake or my own interpretation. Yes, I understood clearly what, when, and how.
So this is the description of what happened, but your feeling would be like you felt safer, maybe safe?
Yes. Yeah.
Does the rest share the feeling or something different?
Yes, it was also easier, this one, as we had already like two examples and our minds more or less knew what to expect.
Okay. So this was a small exercise, but as I said, this is what we are doing in our organizations daily. Regardless of the decision-making process or structure that we decide that we will have, whether it is horizontal, whether it is hierarchical, we are expressing how we see things and how we want to get things done all the time. And sometimes we try to describe it as precise as possible, but still, as happened in the first drawing, that I said, like, it's very simple, no? And also Victoria was saying, it's very simple. And then when we saw, it was like, oh, it's almost similar. Imagine that instead of a drawing, it's an instruction that you need someone to follow, or something that you want to explain that happened to you, a point of view, and then you are putting all your effort in describing your point of view for this decision-making process. But then we can see that other people may understand it differently, even though you try your best. I think you're all nodding, so you're relating to things in your organization or in your daily life that is happening. Like, I really try my best to give these instructions or to make myself understand. So it's not just giving instruction, but making myself understand. Let's say that this is how, as Carlo was saying, about the values of this spiral model. Imagine that these are my values and I'm trying to explain my values. Even if I try to explain them the most accurate that I feel, I'm not in charge of how other people understand it. And then is where it comes all the misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and some storming within the leadership, regardless of the structure of it. So this was my point. What can we do with communication to overcome these challenges that we are facing? No. So let's work from the horizontal, because I think nowadays, especially in youth work, we are in general trying to move to this more participative way of decision making, whether it is horizontal or shared, but it's not so hierarchical in our field in general. But still, there are some things that are going on that prevent this horizontality to happen as it should be in theory. So maybe you can name some examples. Maybe we can take this activity, this drawing that we did, a small drawing, and relate it to real life situations that we are facing in our organizations, in our daily life, that, yeah, it's horizontal or it's shared, but still we facing some challenges. So what challenges are you facing to put this kind of power structure into place?
Well, I would say in our case, in my case, is assuming like we share the leadership and there's instructions, let's say, more or less, to a goal to accomplish. And in a way, I always assume like we have the same way of thinking. So for something that for me is natural and logical, it is not for the others. So maybe this way of like, especially if you work internationally, the logic and the assumptions that you take are very, very important to go to the same goal.
Mhm. So that would be like, as we were starting, we take the paper horizontally, like starting from the very, very basic, but it could be that someone, you start describing the picture and someone does in a vertical way and still try their best to follow the instructions. But the base was was not explained. So how could I know? My notebook, it's a notebook, so I normally use it that way. If nobody tells me to put it horizontally, it doesn't come to my mind. And in other organizations, are you facing these things that maybe you take for granted some understandings and then you find out that it was not the same?
Well, I can mention that, yeah, like I totally agree with what Nazareth said. Also consider, for example, here in Young Effect, the staff, we are like me, Vicky, and Galia. We are even with different nationalities, with different culture, totally in the opposite part of the world. So even if we are very, very similar, I would say, in the understanding of what we need to do, also the cultural aspect is different. And also when we talk to each other, we need to consider this because we have different way of relating to each other as well. Like yeah, like I mean, it's a stereotype, okay, but Vicky coming from like South America, and also Spanish attitude, very emotional, very yes, sensitive, yeah, loud. Galia coming from Russia, totally the opposite, if you want to say this. And me, I'm basically in the middle, kind of half and half. So sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes we have misunderstanding because of this, also in the work. But at the same time, it's very challenging and very, very nice to experience this in the same organization.
So yeah, we have every day, even within families, this can happen as well. No? Like, I don't know, I told you to put the milk in the fridge, and somehow there was no milk in the fridge. Things like this. And then there's emotion attached to this. So as Tiziana very well said, and Nath as well, there are some differences within people. So even though we try to have a horizontal organization, yes, Carlo, sorry.
Yes, Jorge, I just wanted to add, if possible, for my personal experience in Bulgaria, and to add to what Tiziano said about the cultural differences that exist. Sometimes we might experience language barriers, as we have volunteers from the European Solidarity Corps that have some lower skills, let's say, in the language. And also sometimes in speaking in a broader view, in a bigger picture, let's say, when we try to engage our organization with some stakeholders, for example, the municipality in Sofia, or some other associations that we try to invite them to some roundtables or other activities that have some goals, and we need to raise awareness about something. Sometimes this stakeholder engagement is not very effective and efficient. And I think this is also a problem with the communication and how to spread the information and how to make them participate actively in some activities that for us are quite important, and they have some social benefits. This is something that I wanted to point out.
Yeah, I think we, by the nodding, we can all relate to this. That we are trying to do something important here, and they just, maybe they just want a headline or a picture, and that's all they care about, no? And there's a difference in interest, in understanding, in what this initiative is important for, or yes. So, but also you mentioned, this was like a different perspectives, but you mentioned two very important things. When we are talking between municipalities and from the NGOs, there's clear civic structure that they hold the power and we don't. But at the same time, you also mentioned another kind of unbalance with the volunteers and the language barrier. So somehow there's people with more skills, you mentioned. Yeah, there was more skillful in English. So there will be like a power dynamic somehow, if how far they can communicate themselves within the horizontal organization, and some people who have not these skills, so their participation is limited, even if we say that it's horizontal. So you mentioned two very important things there. That so from my experience, what I see, I mean, I come from activism, so I've been in many assemblies. Well, many. Yeah, some of them in my years of experience. And in activism in general, there's this horizontal or shared way of decision making. So we have all these assemblies where we all sit together and we ask questions and we propose ideas, and then we have this commission. So some people take care of the, I don't know, social media, some people take care of this activity, some people take care of the legal, filling the legal documents, whatever. I think also in our organizations this can apply, no? We divide tasks according to our expertise, or what are we willing to do as in our daily tasks. But my big thing is when we come all together and we have these assemblies, there's power dynamic that exist, like the language of barrier, not barrier, like the level of skills in language itself, but also a level of skills in communication. So if we give this task of the drawing to another person and start from scratch and say, okay, now you, because first I describe it, I already said the, right, put it horizontal, we have thirds, we have da, and then you will, Victoria was also using this method, but let's give it to one of our volunteers and start from scratch, like, okay, describe this and others have to draw it. Probably the outcome of this is not gonna be as it is here, no? Because at least the people who are participating here, we have some experience trying to make ourselves understand and trying to giving instructions, ask for help in specific ways, and so on. But then what the point that I want to reach is when we go into this horizontal, even if we say it's horizontal, it's not equal. There's no equal participation for many reasons. Would be that someone is for their upbringing or for their socialization or for their personality, they are shy, and they don't share whatever they think of. No? And instead of saying it during the assembly, when the assembly is over, they go behind and they speak it to their very best friends or person of that they have more trust with, and they explain this instead of saying it during the assembly. And there are many factors that can affect this, the power of voicing things. So it could be based on gender, based on race, like all kind of minorities. They will feel less empowered to raise their voices, because this is culture power dynamics that we have in society. So even though we try to set horizontal, it's not going to be equal if we just said it like we are all equal, and we underestimate the current ongoing power dynamics in society. And this can happen with all axes of discrimination. So with any kind of neurodivergence, any way of, and also experience itself. No? If I have more experience on something, my voice during the assembly will matter more than other person voice in the same issue. Even if we take up this, let's say that we take up the same space, time space to explain ourselves, but still how the voice is listened to by others, it's gonna be different. And there's all these stereotypes, no? And we've been working with the stereotypes with the previous exercise as well, with this magic carpet. We were working somehow with some, not only with the values of the people that we were reading, but also our own stereotypes and our own value system when we are reading it and the understanding of it. So when we are in assembly and someone is talking, we are saying, what is this person? How is this person? What is this person coming from? And how much importance and how much weight I give to the opinion or to the view or to the proposal of this person. Do you agree? Do you see this happening within volunteers? Yes, I see some noddings. Yes. So, in order, from my point of view, if we really want to achieve a horizontal decision-making process, we need to put in place some measures that try to compensate this power dynamic that are already going on. So first, acknowledge that they are happening. So there's some power dynamic, whatever they are, could be the experience, could be the skills, could be cultural backgrounds regarding differences of skin color, of gender presentation, or whatever. You know, like even the appearance itself. It's not the same if I'm wearing a suit that if I'm wearing a mojo, a color mojo. Even if we're saying the same thing, we are not giving the same credit for these words. So, and these are things that first we need to acknowledge that they are happening. And once we acknowledge it, we need to take measures to some equity, to rebalance in order to be horizontal. Otherwise, it would never be horizontal. It would be a try of horizontal, but if not everybody has the willing to, like the safety and the power to speak, and even if they do, they are not listened to, it's not horizontal at all. It's not equal at all. And also we are using a lot this, no, we are all equal and this is a safe space. Okay, this is a safe space for what? For who? What measures have you put into place in order for it to be a safe space for everybody? Who can participate in your space and feel fully safe so you can call it a safe space? So when we are hosting trainings, no, I heard this a lot. This is a safe space. You can share whatever you want. No? And we are using these words and we are hearing these words. but I'm focusing more at about like, okay, just by saying it doesn't make it true. So what measures are we taking in order it to happen? So maybe you can, I see Galia clapping. So in your organization, you see, do you have some measures already taken into place, or is something that you think by yourself that it needs to be done and you do by yourself, or is within your organization?
Inside the organization or in the project environment as a hosting organization?
Both. I don't know how the structure of the organization. Tiziana said that it's the three of you.
So inside the organization.
But also because this safe space and safe to share, we use this a lot in the trainings. So also, what measures do you take in order to speak? We are equal. Like specific measures you put into place to make it safe.
Well, I can say that we somehow, I don't know, officially discussed it. Okay, let's establish some safe space or something like this. In our case, and I think in most NGOs, because most NGOs, you start to work as a volunteer, and mostly you start to work as a volunteer about something that you are passionate about. So we just feel somehow maybe each other responsibilities and behavior, in which moments we need to help, to support, when to step out, and like let it go. In our case, it is very organic, I would say, and in my opinion, in most efficiently acting NGOs, it is just how it goes. Because if you already have NGO and it's staff, yes, new people that will be coming will stay most probably if you have the same energy as you, not like the same character, because yes, for example, as Tiziana said, we are quite different in our case, but the vibe is very, I don't like the word vibe, but the energy and the attitude towards each other and to work is similar. So it was just on inner instincts.
Mm-hmm.
If we talk about the projects, yes, that you mentioned, that in the projects we say very often, okay, this is a safe space, but why is it a safe space? It's a very good question, because like we need to, first of all, to think by ourselves as trainers and the coordinators, why can we claim this? Yes, even if we don't explain, for example, all the details to participants, we must understand it. Why can we say like this?
Okay, so for you, it's raising question this for trainings. No, how, from what entitlement we are claiming this a safe space, and who is safe for? If you're not taking any measures in particular to make it safe.
Maybe Tiziana wanted to say something.
It's a very difficult question, because as you mentioned, like we didn't really plan this. Okay, when we do training, we never had the plan of measure for making a safe place. What I can say is that inside the training, there is always one person that is nominated to take care of situations that are happening. So in terms of psychological issues or health issues. So in our case, there is always Oscar that is not here in our meeting, but he's the one that is normally taking care of the situations. Poor him. But no, because yeah, in project there are always happening things. So this can be a measure when we talk about a person that is taking care of the participants. That is not the trainer, is not a participant, is someone of the staff. that maybe has a particular sensibility in like facing this. But when we talk about logistics, for example, the room or particular sessions, it's true. We never plan this. Sometimes it comes itself when we talk about harmony of the people, and also behavior of the trainers. For example, most of the time it's me and Carlo and Daniela that are facilitating our trainings, and there are some characteristics that we have that maybe we can put in place if we see that participants have some difficulties, and we share a lot between each other if we see that some problems are arising. But we never, to be honest, we never plan this. Okay.
So it's more like when see something going on, you have some tools to react on these things, but you don't take prevention methods.
Yeah, exactly.
And, Carlo, you want to add something?
Well, Titi was said most of the things. It's really important to maintain good communication, to have key stuff for all the projects, and to work as a team. It's very important. Otherwise, it's more difficult, and it's not going to happen.
Sometimes it's the challenge itself. Especially we are working with volunteers and try to, what Natha was saying, no? Like when you're trying to, you take things for granted when you're trying to explain things and work as a team, and then the team doesn't perform as you expect because of this basic, get the paper in a horizontal way instruction that you missed. So you do caring, get the water ready, and then water ready means different things for different people. So about these safety measures, I've been taking some safety measures beforehand. Natha, if I forget something, if you want to add. But for example, one thing from the structural point of view, that prevention methods that we can be used in order for the participation to be more equal and more horizontal. So for example, in the room, we add a trigger corner. Sometimes the topics, I mean, regarding of the, depending on the training on the topic, if it's more like a skill building training, it's not normally needed, but when we are doing more like in the stereotypes and questioning ourselves and questioning values and educating more deeper thinking and way of seeing life, there might be some triggers of memories of people experiencing hard things, and they might go to freeze or like a survival brain mode. So we set this cozy area that is specific for this purpose, is explained at the beginning when all the logistics are explained. So this is this area here, it is inside the training room. So if somebody at some point needs to step out of the activity, but don't want to step out of the room, still have this place. And we place there like stuffed animals, blanket, fidget toys, things like this. So it can help this trigger. So they can take, and I encourage participants to take care of themselves, don't go into burning, and first use this tool that we have there. This, just by existing, this, I don't call it trigger corner in public for the participants, but we can understand. It's like the cozy area of or a bunker, or sometimes they decide how to call it. but and also depending on the place that we are and where do we place this this couch or this sofa or whatever the installations have. But from the what participants who have used it, and they or also the ones that they didn't use it, they were sharing that just by existing this place and this option, they were safer participating in the activity, just by knowing that they had this option. So I can't push myself to go and to challenge myself, because I have this option that if I get to a point that I get triggered, I'm going to be taken care of. I have a specific place to go where I will be taken care of, and I'm not live alone in a frozen mode in the room, or I have to leave the room with all the shyness and like adding all the thing that's already going on to the trigger. So for example, this is a prevention method that helps equal participation just by existing. Another measure that we take, for example, is in the toilets. We have some posters ready with some statements saying, like, basically it says, like, if you think that somebody's using this bathroom and it's, you think that they shouldn't, go on with your life and don't bother this person, and let people use the toilet for what it is. You use it for what it is and go on with your life. And like, it's very well put it and with colors and everything, but when we are hosting, and especially when we go into hotels, because we have our own facilities, or toilets are gender neutral, but if we host in hotels, we ask the reception to stick this to the toilet doors. And these are measures beforehand from the organization in order for people to feel safer. So if a gender non-conforming person comes as a participant, just by seeing that this is think ahead, printed, prepared, they are going to feel more empowered to share inside the room whatever the topic is the training about. And then it will be more horizontal, because this person that they are normally already scared, we are in people that we don't know, and I'm already coming from a discriminated community that I don't know how other people would think about me. But if I see that the organization, without mentioning, but just by things that are in place, I see that they have my back, then I feel more empowered to share inside the room. Yeah. Galia, you said, no, okay. I heard something. Yeah.
No, I just, yes, if you finished and I can comment, just now I'm thinking a lot of our trainers that we are working with are using reflection groups. Yes, after the day, yes, when you are divided with a facilitator, sharing. And what I'm thinking now, like, we always say that this reflection group is a safe space, but how can we be sure that the reflection group is safe, even if you have like a trainer with a perfect vision of identity, like a character who divides it in the beginning? Yes, in the end of the day, like, you understand what I mean? How can we ensure that these people that are divided in small groups will not be pushed to further like panic situation than they were before? Because if you do like the smallest mistake there, and also group dynamics during the project, everything is changing, like, how can you be sure? Also, the reflection group is somehow sharing your emotions, your negative situations. It is not intimate anyway. I am just a little bit.
That's what this seminar is for, to raise these questions, no? And these concerns that we have for the well-being of the youth. Natha, you were.
Yeah, I wanted to share like regarding these STEAMing groups, you end up having a little bit sometimes the same situation, because like there's of course like people who speaks English very well and is able to transmit the message in the right way, or people who is really willing to be emotional and to express emotions. So sometimes these groups are not working because it's still like these differences on, like, I would say gender, I would say culture, I would say personality, I would say language barrier are there. Something that we used to do in some of the trainings is just like to add an anonymous suggestion box. So like whoever you feel like, just like write it down in a piece of paper, is read by the organizing team, and like that you can get, like, let's say anonymous feedback in a way daily. And also what really works, at least for us, is just like basically asking the whole time, like before participants come, to make sure the needs are fulfilled, and ask them the whole time, how do you feel, how do you do? If you see there's not reaction, surely you know who is the participant that they're talking with, or the friend that it works with, or so you can find out some information to make sure like those needs are met in a way, or to make it work in a different way, so everyone can express themselves easily, which sometimes is hard. Okay.
Thank you, Natha. I see it's very clear who's working from logistics and who's working from the training position. You're more into the needs. But I think this question that Galia's raised is, I used to have it, and my approach right now is to be honest and say, this is not a safe space, and it will not be. Like, it's the truth. If it's the truth, I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't mean that it's a hostile space. That is not the safest space that you can find with your best friends at home. I'm not saying it out loud, like this is not the safest space, but I'm saying it more like encourage from the very beginning, say from the get to know each other activity, to take care of yourself.
Yes, to put to take responsibility for your, let's say, feelings and panic zone, first of all on yourself, because the trainer is a support, but not the person who is like I don't know, a mommy, let's say, like this. Yes, it's anyway, no one knows you better than you. Okay, I answered my own question, I think, to myself.
Yes. So, I mean, at least this is what I'm doing from the very beginning. When I introduce this trigger corner, it's like, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. If you need to step out, step out. If you need to shut up, shut up. If you need to raise your voice, raise your voice. If you want to raise your voice and you don't know how, ask for help. Ask for help for a friend. Ask for help for your roommate. Ask for help for me. Ask for. But this is only something that you can do by yourself. And even if we ask all the time, even if we try all the prevention methods, it's not gonna be possible, because there are power dynamics that are going on culturally that we cannot erase it just because we enter in this just no formal education space. They still happen, no? And there's this, for example, in a lot of trainings, we have some sexual harassment going on during the free time and at night. It's happening. I mean, I've seen in many trainings this is happening. And then we have how as organization are we taking any prevention methods to prevent this, and how safe is the training room the next day for the participant who has been harassed? Normally they don't even report it, and this is an issue that is going on. to name something. Because they go into the intercultural night, they think they are flirting, but sometimes they're not. And how safe next, that's more my question, because these things are going to happen. It happens all the time. It happens at discos, it happens in the street, it happens in youth work, it happens everywhere, because it's the culture we live in. So my question is more like, what are we putting into place in order for the next day for this participant who has been harassed to feel safe in the training room?
So maybe talking about consent at the very beginning and establishing like a call-up person in case you feel like there's been some aggression at some point, just make sure you can go to this person and talk about it, and talk about it before.
I would say also it maybe somehow depends on the topic. I cannot explain it, but also like different topics, let's say different people, also you know your audience. I would say like safe space, yes, but you cannot predict everything. You cannot talk with them about everything. Don't harass other people. Don't, I don't know, don't steal food or whatever. Like maybe I would say the safety, yes, what you said, how can we be sure that it is safe space on, let's say, the safest possible, yes. Maybe it must be inside of the trainer and inside of the understanding of the team that people that came there, the staff that are totally conscious that they must like take a look and let's say secure that their participants know and can trust them that in case if something happens, not that the trainers will prevent sexual harassment, yes, and will look like this for you, but in case of the situation, I can approach and I can, yes, speak. Like one of my colleagues says that because of this reason, usually as we have two trainers, yes, that they must be like with different personalities as possible. So you somehow attract as much participants as you can. So if you have like, let's say, for example, two trainers with the same approach, with the same personality, you cover only particular participants that reflect on you. So the staff must be as diverse as possible, yes. In order to you cover and you gain the trust as much people as you can. So then you create the safe space being like next to them and then saving the problems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and it works as the trigger room, like a trigger place. Like just by mentioning it at the beginning, then it's already a prevention method. Okay, we are not stealing food. No. I mean, they're stealing food. For me, it's a minor thing. But if
no, it was just an example. Yes.
No, but I'm taking this from this example. There are some issues that can happen that are minor things, and there are some things that are, I mean, they're crimes. They're legal crimes. Harassment is a legal crime. Yes. So by the beginning, I explained this. Like when we are explaining the basic, in case of fire, where is the extinctor, and we explain this. Natha does it very well, the fire thing and how it works. But when we are explaining like the basic logistic things and 112 and what number to call to and this introduction, also I explain like the legal background that we have here in Spain and what is legal and what not is legal. We tell them it's legal to drink in this place, it's not legal to drink in this street. So if you do it wisely. Also, we have a law regarding harassment. So if this something happened, it's not something to deal with in the group, but with the authorities. And that's already a prevention, very powerful method. And it's true. And it's true. And also by saying, like, you can say it in a very fun way, the way of putting it, but when I say it as a trainer, I see the faces. and I see the faces of these 2 participants that there are the Erasmus travelers, professional harassers, and I see the party's over, and I see their faces, and this was where the moment that I identify them, and I know who to look out for, no? Like who to keep an eye on. But I mentioned it, like I don't have any problem mentioning it this way. Like, okay, this is the legislation for drinking, the legislation for harassment, the legislation, this is where you are, this is what we are working with. And by saying that, I'm kind of stating that if this happens, it's not something that you will get on by as every other time, by maybe keeping it as a personal issue, trying to solve it within the organization. It's more like, no, this is a legal thing and it happens. I don't have any problem to go to authorities to report a crime because this is what happens. And just by saying it is already a prevention method. Not saying it this way, just saying that the law exists. Or at least it has happened so far. So by the moment we started to mentioning this, it has reduced a lot, at least the attitude of these guys. We know who are we talking about. There's always 1 or 2 in each project that has this purpose of the traveling, adding to the training somehow. And their way of flirting is questionable, let's say. So for example, this, and this affects the horizontality, the equal participation, the safety in the room, the power of talking. So if this guy is saying something in the training room, as in the reflection, then the person who has been harassed is not going to be able in the training room to confront the idea, even if it's on the topic. And also the person who this, like maybe the roommate of this girl who talked to, they are like secretly angry at this, and they are not participating, so they are blocking from the group. In training room, in the participation, it might escalate. So prevention method, just mentioning it, increase safety, and once the safety is increased equal participation, and it's more horizontal. It's never going to be horizontal. And as I said with the question of a safe space, acknowledging it is the first step. And just knowing that it's not going to be fully horizontal, it's not going to be fully equal, because there are many things that we cannot take care of as an organization, as trainers. I mean, even within the activist groups that we've been working for months and years together, there is still these power dynamics going on, with experience, with knowledge, with communication skills. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about this horizontal decision making or dynamic. That is an utopia. It might be like a structure for decision making, but also we need to be aware that it's not. It doesn't equal equality. Like horizontal is not the same as having equal participation. So we can set a way of decision making that is horizontal, but still not everybody will participate in the same amount and with the same weight. So just by acknowledging it, we are already doing a lot. And that was my, Natha?
Yes, I would like to add also, it's true that it's a utopia, like we can give it as much as we can to have it. But then in reality, in our daily lives, we are super, super busy, and taking like a decision in such a long terms, because just for the sake of being like horizontal, it takes a tremendous amount of time. So sometimes, because you have to go through with your daily workload, You just go on in not so horizontal style, because basically there's no time to take the decision as a group and not to listen to every single voice, even that is the most rational and more equally acceptable way. But at the end of the day, we just don't have time. Sometimes you have to take decisions in a quick way. So it requires another style of leadership. And that's why in our organizations, the mixing styles and leaderships, I think is a something constant. Even if you prefer this style or this other, that's going to change time to time. So
yeah, that's a very good point, because in activism that we are only doing horizontal, it takes ages to get to a point. And in organizations and also working with the public funding, we have timelines, we have deadlines that we need to fulfill. And whether we like it or not, there's a hierarchy. There's the coordinator, there's the president, there's the secretary who have some power. And at some time, it might be needed that they use it. And it might be helpful for the well-being of the organization that they use it. That this might cause some emotions to the people receiving the instructions. But that's a tale for another day, because I think it's already the time that, so we have time also for the final reflection. Also, if you wanted to add something, I think we had a nice time to raise some questions to increase our egalitarian ways of participation in our organizations. And for me, that's fruitful enough. Sometimes we don't need answers, but the questions are already enough. I don't know how you feel, if you want to add something or if not.
Well, the good point is that almost the totality of the people that are here, even if they are not very active now, it's almost the end of the 2 days. We are gonna meet again in Turkey very soon, but physically. So I'm sure that a lot of questions that maybe now here we cannot discuss because we don't have enough time, but there we will have time to do it. So even if we need to close soon this webinar with a lot of interesting point, because really, Jorge, you open a big discussion here with your topic, and also Carlo today in the morning. We will have also time to discuss it later in real, face to face. Yeah. So thank you very much.
So if that's all, I think I give the room to Galia for the final conclusion. And thank you very much for your participation and your artistic skills.
Okay, thank you very much. It was very, very interesting. Now I will think all day about reflection groups. So yes, let's recap a little bit what we did today, and in general, what are other future steps after these webinars that we will do connected with the topic of community organizers, with activating leadership, and especially youth leaders. So the second day of our webinar about leadership, we started with Kalom and Молодежный Bulgarian Forum. Yes. We spoke about spiral dynamics, integral psychology. So a lady that was smiling but a little bit awkward, and we understood why. Yes. Then after a short break in 10 minutes, we continued with Jorge about shared horizontal and linear leadership. We tried to draw, yes, to follow the instructions, to analyze the problems, the safety, and how can we be sure that our instructions are heard. And like this, we conclude the second day. In general, we had with you 5 sessions, starting with the introduction of the necessity to be aware about leadership, that it is important, yes, let's say, to follow the right leaders and to see all the details about their, let's say, leadership identity, how to do it, how can other materials and theory to help us. And as well, we saw some ideas and theories for us as leaders. Yes, what should we take into consideration and where should we pay more attention as well. So it was a webinar in leadership in sustainable communities. It was, as I mentioned yesterday, one of the first webinars that are inside our big project. Next step for us in this 2 years program will be, as what was mentioned before, yes, and some of you already know, it will be training course in Turkey. And the second manual, the book about leadership. Yes, we produced an amazing webinar where Nathalie was one of the authors. In this chat here, I would like to share with all the participants the link to our website that we are creating about community organizing. It is in process right now. We just started to put their materials, but be sure that it will be updated from now on regularly. There you can already find a book in 5 languages: Turkish, Bulgarian, Spanish, Italian, and English, and Romanian, 6. About community organizing. And in a few weeks, we will also upload a manual about leadership there that is very amazing, informative manual, so you can use it and download it totally for free. Then also in the same platform, in the same website, soon we will create an online course, online training course, how to become, let's say, a community organizer and all the details about it. That will also include a lot of information about leadership. Also, it will be totally for free. Yes, just check the updates on this website and you can use it. So, thank you very much for our first webinar. The second will be in more or less October. And of course, for all the participants, we will also send a note with free access if you would like to join. The second will be about management in communities. Do you want to say something last, let's say, comments?
Thank you very much, Galia, and also Victoria, that will edit a bit this webinar that, as mentioned, it was recorded, but of course we'll cut some parts because there were some black moments. But it will be available in the website that Galia mentioned before, and so thanks all. I just wanted to thanks everybody for the effort, and we know how it's difficult now on to keep the attention online when we can finally meet each other. As I said, this project was written during the COVID time, so the reason why we have all these online materials is because we wanted to show how also we can use online tools in the educational sector, also in the youth sector. So thanks all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and see you all, I hope.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you.